Well, well, well. What do we have here? The makings of a deal between Russia and Ukraine. Things have been happening very quickly over the past few minutes. In fact, I'm also going to give you one more information. We all knew that Prime Minister Modi is coming to United States. We also knew that his foreign minister, Dr. Jaishankar, would accompany him. But how many of us knew that the defense minister, Rajnath Singh, is also going to be here? Something big is being planned. As that is happening, and I think India might be sounded out on some of the specifics of the deal that are going to be discussed as far as Ukraine and Russia are concerned. That is on one side. On the other side, we also have a lot of discussions going on. There is an upcoming summit in Germany, and 𝗏𝗍𝗃 Hegseth, who was already in Europe, had a press conference. So I'm going to share all this with you. Please like this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly do so. So here we go. This is the deck, and I'm going to give you exactly what Trump discussed with Zelensky and Putin. First, he called up Putin. He said there are a lot of things. This is a long conversation, and I just captured the salient points here. And the link for this is given in the references section. I encourage you all to go and read that. What Trump is saying is that we have seen a lot of loss. We have to stop and move forward. Let's use common sense and let us try and start the negotiations immediately. And we will begin by calling President Zelensky of Ukraine to inform him of the conversation, something which I'll be doing right now. So first he talked to Putin. Then he also said that I have asked Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Director of the CIA John Ratcliffe, NSA Michael Waltz, and Ambassador and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to lead the negotiations, which I feel strongly will be successful. Millions have died, and it would not have happened if I were president, but it did happen, so it must end. Now, he also thanked Putin for his effort and time in releasing Mark Fogel, who actually spent the night in the Lincoln bedroom in the White House. That's a very special honor. So Mark Fogel got treated like royalty. Also, what's his name? The guy who was imprisoned in El Salvador, and also in El Salvador consulate in London. That guy is getting a full pardon now. The first one to break through all the deep state conversation. The name will come to me in a moment. So this is his conversation with Putin. Now here is a conversation with Zelensky. He said that I also spoke with Zelensky. These tweets are back to back. Essentially, he's conducting the nation's business through Truth Social, not even Twitter. And if anyone want to know what is happening, like at the very latest stuff, you should be part of Truth Social, and you'll be able to figure out what's going on, especially as far as the Trump presidency is concerned. So he said that we discussed a lot of things, but right now there's a meeting being set up on Friday in Munich, where Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio will lead the delegation. I'm hopeful that the results of that meeting will be positive. It's time to stop this ridiculous war where there has been massive and totally unnecessary death and destruction. God bless the people of Russia and Ukraine. By the way, yesterday, Zelensky said that he's okay with some of the things that Trump was saying, because at the end of that conversation, Trump said that I see at some point in future Ukraine becoming a part of Russia. I don't know if you followed that conversation or not. So all that is happening on one side. Now, there is also a press conference that 𝗏𝗍𝗃 Hegseth, the defense secretary, had, and the salient points were no NATO membership. I'm going to let you read that while I bring up a video where he's addressing the press conference. Just give me 1 second. You read that and I'll get you the information. You will listen to 𝗏𝗃 Hegseth himself. Yes, it is Julian Assange. So much AMS. My God, you guys are awesome. See, I'm kind of short-handed right now, and I felt that I needed to come right back after I did one monologue on 𝗠𝗢𝗏 𝗢𝗏𝗏, but my goodness, this is so awesome. So here is 𝗏𝗃 Hegseth's press conference statement. Here we go.
We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering. A durable peace for Ukraine must include robust security guarantees to ensure that the war will not begin again. This must not be Minsk 3.0. That said, the United States does not believe that NATO membership for Ukraine is a realistic outcome of a negotiated settlement. Instead, any security guarantee must be backed by capable European and non-European troops. If these troops are deployed as peacekeepers to Ukraine at any point, they should be deployed as part of a non-NATO mission, and they should not be covered under Article 5.
So let me just summarize what he just said. So here's what he was saying. No NATO membership for Ukraine, no return to pre-2014 border, which means forget about Crimea, whatever happened. No US troops, no US troops in Ukraine. And number 4, no more relying on US for the majority of military funding. So basically, Ukraine will be on its own, but there has to be some sort of an agreement that has to be arrived in order for Ukraine to be compensated for the war effort itself. It's not as if they wanted to go to war. It was Russia that invaded them. So what that terms is going to be, or what are those terms, we'll have to wait and see. That is the hard part. Russia says, okay, we'll get all these things, but we'll have to pay for war reparations. War reparations are pretty common, although India tends to be very generous. They should have shut down the military of Pakistan in 1971 and said, you want your 93,000 military prisoners? We completely demilitarize you. We own you. That's how it should have been. But anyway, we don't know what kind of pressure was applied on Indira Gandhi. Certainly not the kind of person that would have capitulated the way she did. But be that as it may, we were not old and grown up, or we were not in a position of influence to try and see if that could be done differently. Whatever it is, whoever was there at that time, whoever I have talked to, they have said that this was completely unexpected. Anyway, long story short, what is going to happen next is anyone's guess, but I think both Russia and Ukraine want to stop the war, and I think things are headed towards some sort of an agreement. And I think that agreement is becoming more and more clearer. Like I said, Pete Hegseth put out a few things. Zelensky will probably hum and haw, and then they have to sell it to the Ukrainian cabinet. The cabinet has to approve, and only then the Ukrainian side will be mollified. But what are they getting in exchange? Those are all the things that need to be considered. Well, we'll wait and see, but at least a strong beginning has been made. Let's wait and see how things play out. That's all I wanted to tell you. Let's take a quick look. If you have any questions on this one, I don't think so. Julian Assange and Edward exposed corruption. Edward Snowden also got a pardon, yes. And they definitely deserve a presidential pardon, especially when Joe Biden's son gets full pardon. AMS, there is a rumor doing the round that Joe Biden pardoned himself also. He pardoned himself also, just like Nehru gave himself Bharat Ratna. I don't know how truthful that is, but be that as it may, that's what I heard. I hope you guys found this thing interesting. It's not going to be long. I'm going to wind up now. Thanks for watching, tuning in at such a short notice. I'll see you all very soon. Namaskar.